We are joined by legendary political strategist James Carville. Welcome, James. Happy President's Day.
Well, thank you. I don't know if I can call it happy, but it is President's Day. So, and I think your intro gives a pretty good indication of where we are. It's pretty comprehensive, I think.
Yeah. Look, I always appreciate you fact-checking a greeting. The word happy depends on the person. That's debatable.
Right.
The words President's Day are true. So with that in mind, I want your views. I want to put up, again, what I just showed the people watching the news. This is a news day. It's all over the country. It's been put together by grassroots organizers. It's very now. It doesn't feel like the 2017 version or the campaign of last year. It's addressing a lot of concerns about the current agenda, including we're seeing signs and protesters saying, James, this is not even what people voted for. Even if they are anti-Trump voters, they're calling out a lot of things that they say exceed the president's authority or are dangerous or are gutting of the federal government. What's happening here? What do you see?
What I see is something organic coming up from around the country. I don't think that there was a lot of organization. If you remember, in 2017, you had like 1 million women on the mall. This is happening all around the country. So the question is, how should Democratic politicians respond to this? And what I think they should do is what we call in rural America, play possum. Just let it go. Don't get in the way of it. Or as we like to say, don't just stand there, do nothing. Let this germinate. We don't need to we don't need to get in front of it. This freight train is moving. Let's just get out of the way. And then we're going to have time. In the immortal words of Dalton in Roadhouse, be nice until it's time not to be nice. And that time is coming shortly.
That makes sense. Let's listen to some more of the folks, as you say, who are out there doing this organically. Here's some of what we heard.
I'm worried about the power that Elon Musk has been given without any kind of election.
I think the person who currently occupies the White House has no business being there and is making a chaotic mess of our country.
Elon Musk was not elected. He was around in the final weeks of the campaign, but they certainly did not admit, or maybe they didn't know, that he would be a super almost co-president. Is that becoming a potential vulnerability for the Trump White House?
Yeah, I think the slogan for 2026 is going to be a government of, by, and for billionaires. Is that really what you voted for? But these people are saying it. These two women are way more articulate and way more influential than you and I are saying it, because we would be expected to say this. But when this is coming up, get out of the way. Let it go. This is a whole thing, and it kind of happened. Everybody was like downbeat, depressed, and this happened quickly. And I think I'm almost positive it's going to continue to happen. And I think the nuclear story, nuclear safety, airline safety, I don't know about, and I think most people are like me. They have a visceral fear of being on an airplane and having an incompetent FAA. They have a visceral fear of all of the nuclear weapons that we have stored not being properly supervised. And just wait till the food safety, when that happens and botulism breaks out and God knows what not is coming. As a result of this, I'm certainly not hoping for that, but I wouldn't be surprised if anything happened with these clowns.
No, anyone who cares about society, each other, the country hopes against it. In a way, you hope that these incompetent efforts to gut the government as if it has no role to play, you hope that they don't lead to the worst. And yet anyone who's been around, and I've been around, as you know, I worked in government briefly, I worked in law, I've, as a journalist, covered this stuff, so I've been around a little. And if I've been around a little, James, you've been around more than a little, okay? So you watch these stories play out, and you watch them with a type of knowing concern, reaching up to informed fear, because if you fire all the people who know how to do nuclear safety, and you trash all the people who work at the health agencies, and you go over to the FAA and you demoralize, delist, deplatform and sometimes fire people amidst everything we just reported, then yes, you are raising the probabilities, as we've known from watching this for decades, of the government folks not being there to protect you. To say nothing of financial and complex areas like the markets, where it wasn't that long, a lot of people were hurt by that financial crash, which was partly a problem where there wasn't regulation and knowing, informed, empowered policing under 8 years of Bush SEC and everything else of systemic risk to the market. And so, yes, we're not wishing for any of it. But how does that fit into the politics of this when you look at these protests and the people, many of the people out there seem to know this and be concerned?
Well, I think it's getting people's attention. I think nuclear gets people's attention. I think airplane crashes gets people's attention. Look at your hometown, one of my favorite places in the world, New York City. We've had 4 deputy mayors resign. We've had 4 people, many of them dedicated conservatives, resign from the Southern District of New York. I'm sorry, the governor of New York is a dope. Why she doesn't get that guy out of there pronto, I have no idea. I'm sorry, but all of the evidence points to the fact that
Governor Hochul about,
yes,
Mayor Adams.
That she's leaving that guy who has the power to remove, from all appearances, is a major criminal. The people in his office, the people, the federal prosecutors, these are not political people. This woman was a clerk for Justice Roberts or something like that, all right? This is all collapsing right in front of you, and it's collapsing in the most significant city in the world. I mean, it's coming to you right now. We're not projecting, it's going to happen, you just wait and see we're right. It's all falling apart right in front of us. Right in front of us. And then what really gets to me, you have these people try to position themselves. I'll give you a good example. My dear friend, and he is a good friend of mine, Bill Maher. Oh, well, maybe they got something. Do you really think that these people are after waste, fraud, and abuse? No. They're incompetent. They're totally incompetent. And anybody that has anything to do with that is going to live to regret it. I see these professional centrists on TV. Well, we got to acknowledge, no, that everybody that touches this is going to live to regret it. Everybody that defends this is going to live to regret it.
And you're saying, because you're saying the stakes matter, reality is on the line. We're talking about, as you said, nuclear safety, FAA, and you're mentioning Bill Maher as someone who what? You're saying you think that he is being too solicitous of the Trump argument? Go ahead.
Well, I think what Bill is trying to do is and I agree with him. I think he was very courageous on identity politics. I've been on his show a number of times. I really consider him a friend. But he's like, well, you got to admit, Musk and them, that they're trying to, curb waste, fraud, and abuse. There's $500 billion of waste. All right, so you sound reasonable. That's not what this is about. You think that waste, fraud, and abuse is in managing nuclear stockpiles? You think the waste, fraud, and abuse is lining up people to land at LGA, LAX, MSY, or ORD? No, that's not. That's what they're going after. That's why you're going to regret this. You think the mayor of New York, and somebody said, well, he might switch to being a Republican. Well, Greg, can I hold your coat? For God's sakes, get the hell out. We don't want you. We don't want you. And, sometimes you got to say that. And look at the people, the people in Romania, Blagojevich. I mean, every major criminal you can think of is there. There's no secret. There's no on the other hand. There's no middle ground here. Not at all. Nothing. But again, I repeat, don't just stand there, do nothing. Just let it keep going. It's going in a very, very good direction.
Yeah, you're talking about, and you're talking about what the Democratic leaders should do, because there is such a thing as bottom-up grassroots movements, and when it does happen, you want to respect that. I get your point there. I got your point on Mr. Maher. You guys have been around each other. I know you've been on his program, so it's interesting to hear you say that, because again, the fig leaf. I mean, Elon Musk doesn't need people's personal taxpayer information, which he may not, by the way, have legal rights to root out waste, fraud, and abuse. There's way too many things they're doing that don't even fit under that defense, which is why I think it's important for us to take it all and fact check it. Before I let you out of here, James, on this big President's Day, I want to talk, last question, I want to talk